random type of tropical island.
Oh my god, I got a 90 on my chapter 3 quiz.
That's still good.
You can improve on it though.
I know, so can you guys help me study for the chapter 3 test?
Yeah, of course. So let's study.
Over here are parallel lines. Parallel lines are two lines that do not intersect and are coplanar. And here are perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are two lines that form a perfect 90 degrees and form a right angle. A transversal line is needed between two lines, and from the two lines are corresponding angles that are made, which are two angles that have a corresponding position. And for alternate interior angles, there are two lines between two opposite lines of the side of the transversal. And there are also alternate exterior angles that lie outside the transversal line, and consecutive interior angles that lie between two lines and inside the same set. Angle 2 and angle 6 are congruent because they're cut by a transversal, so they are corresponding angles. The alternate interior angles are in green, and they are congruent. The alternate exterior angles are in blue, and they are congruent because they're all cut by a transversal. Angle 3 and angle 5 are consecutive interior angles. They are supplementary. Angle 2 is corresponding to angle 6, so angle 6 equals 115 degrees. Angle 5 and angle 6 are linear pairs, so their sum equals 180. The equation for solving x would be x plus 5 in parentheses plus 115 equals 180. You would subtract 115 from both sides and subtract 5, x would equal 60. The corresponding angles converse says that if two lines are cut by a transversal, so the corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So if angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles that are congruent, then the lines are parallel. The alternate interior angles converse says that if two lines are cut by a transversal, so the alternate interior angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So if angle 4 and angle 5 are congruent, then the lines are parallel. The alternate exterior angles converse says that if two lines are cut by a transversal, so the alternate exterior angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So if angles 1 and 8 are congruent, then the lines are parallel. The consecutive interior angles converse says that if two lines are cut by a transversal, so the consecutive interior angles are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. So if angle 3 and angle 5 are supplementary, then the lines are parallel.
The slope of a non-vertical line is rise over 1 or the changing y over the changing x. And it can be modeled by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So both lines in the coordinate plane, there are four types. Negative slope falls from left to right, as in line J. Positive slope rises from left to right, as in line K. Zero slope is a horizontal line. Undefined slope is a vertical line. The slope of two parallel lines is always equivalent, and the slope of perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals.
The general form of a linear equation is slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. M equals slope, and b equals the y-intercept. The slope of a perpendicular line passing through another line is the reciprocal of the line it passes through. For example, the slope of one line is 2. The perpendicular line that passes through it would be the opposite which would be negative 1/2.
The perpendicular line theorems include if two perpendicular lines form, they will form 4 right angles, and is shown with angles 1, 2, 3, and 4. If two sides of two adjacent acute angles are perpendicular, then the angles are complementary, as shown with angles 1 and 2. If a proof was made with the following line, then OP would be perpendicular to PQ, and that's a given. Angle OPQ is a right angle, and that's because the perpendicular lines intersect to form 4 right angles. The measurement of angle OPQ is 90 degrees, and that's the definition of a right angle. The measurement of 1 and 2 equals the measurement of OPQ, and that's the angle addition postulate. The measurement of angles 1 and the measurement of angle 2 equals 90 degrees, and that's the substitution property of equality. And angle 1 and 2 are complementary, and that's the definition of complementary angles. So the perpendicular transversal theorem is if the transversal is perpendicular to one or two parallel lines, then it is perpendicular to the other. And lines perpendicular to a transversal theorem. In a plane, if two lines are perpendicular to the same line, then they are parallel to each other. So do you understand now?
Yep, I totally understand.
I understand too. So you're gonna ace the test now?
Yep.